Welcome back to our channel. My name is Jasmine.
And I'm Dave.
And this is Engineered by God, where we navigate life from a Christian perspective. And today we are reacting to episode 4 of Married at First Sight.
So before we get started on a couple just like thoughts of the episode in general. Mm-hmm. These in between, like right after the wedding and before the honeymoon episodes, just be boring sometimes. I feel like they just have to have a certain amount of episodes. They're like, hey, here's this extra episode that we got some content. Hopefully you like it. I'm just like, I mean, it's cool to see the parents know that, but it doesn't really give much for the couples in terms of their relationship, and it just feels like just a filler episode, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really do anything. It's kind of boring. Like, boring. So it's just like we can do without it. I liked it better before they had this kind of episode in there.
Right. It just feel like a money grab. Like they want to get as much ads as they can. So let's make another episode. Mm-hmm. And I do like, they meeting the family members and the dads, the moms, and friends like that. But that could have been squeezed in somewhere in episode 3 if they weren't trying to
I mean, well, they're trying to milk everything.
They're trying to milk it,
need to be 3 episodes long. That's just ridiculous. But anyway, what else you want to say?
No, that's it. This episode is like, I'm like, maybe I should just watch someone else's video about their reaction and make a reaction on their reaction, because I'm pretty sure it'll be much more entertaining than this episode.
Yeah. But so let's get into the first thing. But I guess another first is like, I feel like that the parents are always saying the worst things about their kids that are not helping the situation. Like, I know you want to be honest and real, but like,
yeah, my son is completely lazy, unmotivated. His room's a mess. His room's like, they trying to help them or not?
I mean, they're gonna figure these things out anyway. I just feel like sometimes they just say the worst things, and maybe they say a lot of good things before, and it's just the editing. Yeah. Because who knows what they're doing with editing? They could do anything. Mm-hmm. So, but let's start with Gil and Myrla.
All right.
One of these days, I'm gonna get it right. But yeah, for them, I don't know. I just feel like she's a little bit more uptight than he is, and very like particular. I just feel like we're getting to see that more and more, and I hope it's just the editing. I kind of want them to show her. I'm really looking forward to the honeymoon, to kind of see her in more of like a, like, I don't want to say happy, because she's not like unhappy, but just less kind of,
I get like it's like a downer, and just like, so when they get to the honeymoon suite, she's like, man, first of all, I don't like the bed. Then she gets to the balcony, it's like, man, it's like really close to the neighbors. Then they look at the view like, hey, that pool sucks, my pool is better. And just like everything just seems to be something negative to say,
You ain't paying for this. They paying for it themselves, and there's not much you could do. If you didn't know, COVID's going on, so they're doing the best that they can. And so it's just like, whatever. Everybody else was so like, oh, the bed is so nice. And she's just like...
And here's the thing. We know, like, the whole show's been shot. These people are either married or not married, watching it on TV just like we are. Mm-hmm. And so, like, once they start to, like, build in a storyline, there's a reason for it. Mm-hmm. Like, in that one scene where they got their little honeymoon package, and she's like, oh, man, he was like, he got a hat, and she's like, I can't wear the hat because my hair or whatever. Like, we'll get a visor. I don't want a visor. And then she had, like, the sleep mask. She's like, I can't wear this because my... And she's like, yo, what can you do?
Yeah, so I just hope that it turns out to be a little bit more positive, because I get the feeling that Gil is more of a positive, like, happy, life of the party, like we said, kind of guy. And so, yeah, I just want to see, what that is. I just want to see her in a different light. Like, I don't want this to be her the whole season,
Right. The fact that both of their fathers were both murdered, that was crazy.
I know. And when I was watching it, I'm going to tell you my initial reaction when we got to that part, because we were watching it, and they found out, laying in the bed, they found out both their dads were murdered. And then she's like, how did it happen for you? And then he goes and tells the story of how his dad was murdered. And then she's like, well, I'm tired. I'm not going to talk about it. Like, I was like, what? That's just weird to me. Like, if you ask somebody a question, then you should be ready. Don't ask them a question if you ain't ready to answer it. I understand she's tired. It's a long day, what have you. But you wanted to ask, like, you could have started that conversation the next day. And she did, the next morning, she did say what happened, which is crazy.
Yeah, those goodness gracious. But I guess, like, it's a terrible thing that happened, but they can at least both empathize with each other in terms of what that type of pain is like, moving forward and whatnot. So
and how it's going to come back, like how it affects them in their everyday, because those type of things always have a some sort of residual. Is that the word?
Yeah.
And hers happened so soon, but that was crazy. I don't know. That took me.
So when they met each other's families, I mean, I feel like the advice that her brothers and whatnot and best friend kind of gave was pretty like down to earth, basically like treat her right and stuff like that. And he was he did reassure and we'll see if this comes up later in the show, but they were trying to reassure him, hey, she's built a certain lifestyle. She works hard. She's not gonna like try to make you do something that you're not comfortable doing. Like she basically has her own. And her brother said something to the effect of like, basically she doesn't need a husband, but she wants a husband. And I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't, because people, even though you aren't needed, sometimes you do like to feel like you are needed. Like you couldn't just walk away and just be completely fine without me. Like I'm just an accessory to your life. And that can play in many different ways. Like you can have your own insecurities that you got to work through, but like I'm a little worried about how that might show up in the rest of the show.
I don't care like how much money you have now and how much you maintain the lifestyle that you have now. The point is you're married now. So whatever lifestyle you had, if it was a lifestyle that involved traveling a lot, buying a lot of designer things, and you're still, I just feel like when you come together with your husband, those things still, or your partner, those things still have to be like hashed out. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to keep doing whatever I want to do and, you can do whatever. It's my money, so I can do whatever. I just don't like that kind of mentality in general. But, there are strangers, and so it's hard to kind of blend that. But for me, it's just like, okay, she got her own. She makes her own. What does that...
But to be fair, though, we don't know what that looks like practically. I think when you hear that, your mind immediately goes to someone spending like crazy amount on shoes and stuff like that, or traveling so crazily. But like it might not be that deep. It really might just be, hey, every now and then I like to splurge. Like, but we all do that to some capacity. It might be a little bit more for her, but we don't know if it's really that bad.
Yeah, we don't know, but I'm just saying the way they're painting her is not like if she want to get this big fancy house and he's like, I don't feel comfortable with this because I don't feel like I can afford this. She's like, well, I can. And then it's like, that's a whole, that's a whole thing.
Yeah, money's a big issue. Can be a big issue in relationships. And like, too, he did say he's not motivated by money, which is like kind of, different. Typically, like, oftentimes you see men are super trying to chase money and whatnot, and kind of, it kind of might hurt other areas of their lives because they're so focused on trying to chase money. But he's like, I'm not really pressed on money.
I mean, he said he's a firefighter, and apparently I don't think he makes
probably doesn't make that much. I think he said he didn't make that much.
Yeah, I think he did say that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes as we progress. And she said she was really poor, so like she grew up really poor. So now it's like, I'm not going to want for anything. Right. That's the kind of mentality.
And the experts always try to do this thing where they be like, hey, this one person's on this side, the other person's on this side. They're going to help balance each other out. I can see like this is like their attempt to try to balance a couple out. She seems a little more reserved and uptight. He seems a little more like go with the flow and just loose and whatnot. And maybe that kind of like they can kind of ground each other. That's their thought process. But it almost never works when they do that.
I feel like it's different if you guys meet organically. But, when you're matched up, it's just going to take... I don't know. It can work, obviously, but it just takes certain types of people to really be receptive to being pulled out of their comfort zone and challenged in that
especially
way.
With a camera in front of your face.
Yeah, especially with a camera in front of your face.
Right. Like we be beefing with a camera in front of our face, but there's no camera crew. Nobody sees behind the scenes. This might never even make out the light of day. I mean, it will, but we be beefing.
Why you keep saying that? Like, you keep saying that. Like, we going at each other. People's idea of beefing is different.
True. We're going to be beefing, but, you know.
It's not like we yelling at each other and all that
But either way,
stuff.
it can be stressful, like, just trying to put together a video that's scripted. You know what I mean? This is like real life marriage. You're trying to get to know somebody, and there's a camera in front of your face, and you kind of going through a difficult situation. I don't know. When you're very different in mindsets, I don't know. That's the best environment to work that type of stuff out.
Yeah, but that's enough time for them. Let's move on. So, Zach and Michaela.
I mean,
they were the first people to have sex.
Oh yeah.
I feel like first people to have sex are a lot of times the first people to have an argument. Not all the time, but in terms of the show
a lot
and
of times,
history,
yeah,
I feel like that happens a lot.
Like they start off really hot and really passionate, and then they're like at each other's throats.
Yeah, they're like, we're connecting so well, and da da da. Sex is not a
indicator.
Yeah, that you guys are connecting. Really, it's a indicator that you guys are really attracted to each other, and
which is
horny.
good.
Like that is good. But in terms of connecting as people, friends, personalities, like sex doesn't really have People can hate each other and have great sex. I've heard it. I've heard people say that.
But so when she met his folk, I thought that was a really nice moment that they showed when Zach's father danced with her because her father passed away. I thought that was a really nice moment. That was that was really good.
Her father was killed in an accident.
He was killed. But I could tell the mom is still like, okay, you're saying all the right things, but I don't trust you just yet. You know what I mean? Which is fair. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is fair. Like everyone else, but she does seem to be like ingratiating herself pretty well with them. It seemed like, it didn't seem tense. It didn't seem like stiff. Even though the mom I could tell the mom was like, that's still my baby. I don't know you. Like, I don't know you like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I mean, so far it seems like, they're getting along well, and they enjoy each other's company and they like each other. Although, the whole, my friend couldn't come to the wedding because he got tested positive for COVID. Like, do you got COVID? You still went through with this, and how do I know you don't got COVID? So we'll see how that goes.
And the thing is, when he met her folks, again, he's saying all the right things. And if I didn't see those previews, I'd be like, yo, he seems legit. But those previews, it's setting me up to think, like, is he a fraud? Like, is he like overselling, gonna be underperforming? Like, what's the issue here?
I feel like it's definitely some overselling. I don't know. Something about him just feels like a little too, like, I don't know. I need to see who you really are. Right. Like, I really need to see who you are, because you saying.
Because here's my thing. I feel like if I was on this show, I would try to present. You're gonna try to present as best as you can. Mm-hmm. One, just because it's her family, you don't know them, right? You just want to be respectable. But two, there's a camera in front of you, and millions of people are gonna watch this, so you kind of be the best version of yourself. Mm-hmm. But it's like at some point, it's like, oh, is this like for real, or are you just
No, but I feel like even
together.
Yeah, even together.
Yeah.
Like. I can't, maybe they have, but I can't really think of any things where they had a legitimate, like, disagreement, and to me, not disagreement, but, like, different views on things. It seems like they're saying too much, like, yeah, I understand that, yeah, where the other couples, I feel like there has already been times where they're like, oh, I don't, that's weird to me, or I don't necessarily agree with that, or whatever, and I feel like they're a little too, like, yeah, everything's
great, yeah,
perfect and great, and we like everything.
But it's only been like a day.
I know, but we gotta get analytical. Now that we're talking about it out loud, we gotta really dig down and see.
But here's my thing: like when we met, it was great. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing for us to be like, man, these are some major red flags, or hey, we're butting heads here. It was just great.
No, I know, but we weren't married. And so I feel like if you're meeting and you're married, then you guys need to talk. You need to be your authentic self. Don't just say, "Oh yeah," you're like, "Yeah, I do that too," or "I understand that." If you don't really understand or do that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm just, trying to.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't have too much there. Again, most of it seems positive. I'm still, I still think they're gonna say yes ultimately on decision day. We didn't even update. We didn't even say for Gil and Myrla.
Did you say in the first video that they were gonna say yes?
I said they were gonna say. I don't know what I said in the last video.
We gotta write down what we say. Yeah, in each thing. I mean, it the first original guest kind of wipes out.
Right. We'll see how we feel after the honeymoon. The honeymoon is when the show really gets started.
The honeymoon is a good test, and now the honeymoon going to be 2 episodes long anyway. So but the honeymoon is when it really happens. In those previews, I mean, things are happening. Things are happening. But yeah, anything else?
No, I'm good on them.
All right, Johnny and Bao. They're legit my favorite couple. I think every season you have like at least one couple that you really, really rooting for. I think they would have to be it.
Yeah.
But one thing that I was reminded of from their wedding episode that I forgot to talk about in our previous video was her reaction to the jersey thing he gave her. I was so annoyed with that. I'm like, girl.
Right. Are you serious right now? It's not that deep.
You really being so dramatic.
But you know what I think? I think like, and listen, I'll give her a little bit of a pass. I think when you're going into this scenario, your mind can go to the worst case option, right? And I think she saw the jersey and she saw a guy that she has no desire to be with at all, and that's like, and she's like, man, I'm stuck. I just wasted my time. But still, though, like you don't. It was a little overboard. Yeah,
and I definitely agree with what you said. But like you said, she's just sitting there pouting. I wanted a brilliant mind.
Right. Nobel Prize.
I think you have a Nobel Prize.
Yo.
Oh my gosh. And who's to say you can't love sports and be a brilliant mind? Like, who knows? I don't know. That was a little annoying. But she's redeemed herself.
I did like the fact though that when they were talking about his dad and how he didn't come through and whatnot, and she's like, basically, listen, don't worry about it. I got your back. I'm good with dads. I'm basically charm him up and all that good stuff. So I did like that. When they met with each other's families, there wasn't much there. It was pretty much all positive. They just kind of, it was kind of like surface. No one really went that deep. I felt like. In terms of like what they like, the one brother was basically the brother was telling Johnny like something, you might just have to be patient with her, but it wasn't anything like that you wouldn't tell someone for anybody, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really see any like.
The one thing that I was confused about though was when they got to the honeymoon, she was like, "So you sleeping in his bed? Why are you here?" I'm like, "What?
Yeah,
where did that come from?"
I know.
Johnny was like, "You talking to me? Like you don't want." We were just in the same bed last night. What are you talking about? We're married.
So you want me to sleep in the other bed?
Yeah, I didn't get that, but I like the fact that I think in previous seasons, like the guy might have been like, she's tripping, I'm done with her, I'm gonna just go in the other room and pout. He was just like, you know what, I'm gonna roll the punches. He came back and he was like, so how you like your sex?
Yeah, but he did say, if you ever feel uncomfortable, just tell me that you're uncomfortable. Don't, But yeah.
And then went straight to say, like, he said, I like vanilla sex. I don't want nothing crazy. Just standard version sex. No, he did not say
that. He just said, I don't want any anal.
No.
He said, no handcuffs.
I'm pretty sure he said vanilla sex. I don't want nothing.
He said vanilla?
I'm pretty sure he said vanilla. I don't want nothing above the standard version. I don't want no premium features. I want standard sex. That's what he said.
I must have missed that.
But that was a good comment. But it did help her because she was like, I appreciated like that you're open about something like this so early. Like you're not, shying away from what you really feel. And she was like, listen, I'm thinking about it too. Shoot. I'm thinking about it too.
Yeah.
But I agree. I like them a lot.
Yeah, definitely my favorites this season. Anything else?
Nah, I'm good on them.
Do I have a boogie in my nose?
No, you good.
Look at that.
I looked. You good.
It feels like I do. All right, but I can't pick it on camera. On camera. All right, Ryan and Brett.
So, it maybe because he's an introvert. I'm not sure, but sometimes when he's on camera, I'm like, "Yo, are you okay?" He be looking like really tense. Like, I don't know if I really want to be here. Like he just be seeming really uncomfortable. It could be the cameras. It could be introvert. It could be a bunch of things. But it kind of looks like, blink twice if you're if you need help type thing.
Right. I definitely think that the cameras probably definitely amplify that type of kind of shy awkwardness that he probably has. So I'm giving them the benefit of a doubt, but they do editing. They always be wanting to make things seem awkward,
Right.
So they do. Remember who was it? Henry and the other girl in the one season. I'm like, I don't want him to be another Henry.
Yeah, I don't think he's going. No, he's nowhere near that. Nowhere.
I don't think he's going to be another Henry either. But
nowhere near that.
They
try. Like when he met her folks, right? It's like almost any job interview. When they're like, "Do you have any questions?" You gotta have some stuff like
at
written,
least one.
At least
question.
one.
You don't know this girl. You can't think of one.
He's
question.
like, "No, I'm good. I'm just here for the free food. Like, I'm good." Not one question.
That's probably more of a socially awkward type thing.
Right.
Nerves type thing.
But not even one question.
Listen, I don't understand that because she's literally a stranger. You have nothing. You don't know anything about her.
And she's not a redhead. You know what I mean? Like he's leading like she's a right. Stop saying that.
Like, but my thing is.
And it's what does it matter?
The parents, like, yeah, she's a redhead, and redheads, they're either really, really pull it off, or they can't. Like, you don't have to say that to her parents. You already said that to the other people. I just.
And this is the thing that redheads go through. Like, goodness, like you watch. If you're a redhead, you watching like, dang, am I pulling it off or not?
Seriously, but I don't know. He's really fixated on that.
Yeah, because in the last episode, there's like, listen, you're not his type. But hopefully I don't come back to, bite them because he said he like her. He said he like her.
He talking about it a little too much.
Right.
And he did say, well, in the previews, he's like, I want sex. And she's like, I don't know, but that was just in the previews.
Yeah,
who knows what's happening with that? What else happened with them?
But when she met his family, I'm trying to remember what happened when she met his family.
She was just saying, they were just saying, yeah, I think that you guys were matched because you guys can pull him out of his shell.
Yeah.
And you guys can kind of complement each other because you're kind of on different sides of the spectrum, I guess.
Right, and his sister threw shade at all the girls he's dated. They were like, basically, they pretty, but they dumb. I'm like...
She said they're not dumb. She just said they're props.
Props. That's worse.
Yeah, that's sorry to all the girls he dated that had to watch this.
I know at least one of them watched the show. At least one of them's watching the show.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. And she's like, I never had to pull someone out of their shell before, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. There's another matchup where they're a little pretty different in terms of personality.
And the thing is, like, she did say, I'm pretty sure she said, I don't want to like have to change myself. I want to be my authentic self. I want him to love me for who I am authentically. I appreciate it, and I hope like the sounds of them telling him, yeah, you're not his type, aren't like ringing in her head and her thinking, man, does he like me for who I am? Also, I wanted to see this airplane scene because apparently she was acting up on a plane.
Well, she's afraid to fly.
He was like, listen, if it was anyone else,
if it was first date, I'd be out of here.
I don't think I've ever like seen that or been on a plane where somebody who has like extreme phobia of being on the plane before. I can imagine that's pretty stressful to deal with. Like.
Well, for the person who has the fear, right? And I guess
and the person next,
person too, but
because you probably just never seen that, so you're like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just feel like I have a little bit more sympathy.
I know. I know.
What?
Cause the butterflies. So listen, Jazz is afraid of butterfly. Like definitely afraid of a butterfly. So if a butterfly would have come on screen right now, Jazz would scream. She would run out of here. So it's like that's why you got a little more empathy for her, because you're like, I know what it's like, girl.
Listen, you can't control it, all right? You can't control it, okay? You tell yourself it's just, like, I tell myself, it's just a butterfly, like, it's not gonna hurt me. And then it starts coming closer and closer and closer, and I'm like, nah, I gotta get away.
Dog, so I hope you guys don't get back. So we're on our honeymoon at this resort, and we're going through this thing, and it's like a one-way type exhibit. And as we're going in, we go into this one room, and it's a butterfly exhibit, and you can't go back. You have to keep going forward. Jazz legit held on to me and had her eyes closed the entire way, and those butterflies were huge.
I would have freaked out if I saw those.
They were huge.
I would have freaked out. The way you were saying, I was like, I would have freaked out if I saw.
One of them would have just took you away. Whatever your fears were, that was gonna happen.
I woke up from a nightmare because of butterflies, panting like. Listen.
So maybe that's how she was on the plane. Like, she was just like, yo, I can't do this, and he's like, yo, well,
if it's a phobia, it's a phobia.
Also, the honeymoons the last 2 seasons suck. I can't blame Myrla. Like, they're in retired. They're in a senior citizen place. You know what I mean? Like, last year was in Vegas, and this year is in.
But it's COVID.
I know. I get it. But it still sucks. They was going to Aruba and St. Thomas and Barbados.
Yeah, they were going to really nice places. Yeah. But I don't know. On the first season, they all went to different. The three couples went to different places, and the one couple, they went to like this place that was cold, and it was like cabin, cozy kind of thing. But I'm like, I want to be on a beach somewhere. I don't want to be in this cabin. But anyway.
So I'm good on them. You got more for her?
No.
All right. So Jose and Rachel. All right, let me see. What happened with them? First, they started with that weird toothbrush thing. Like, what?
Can I brush your teeth?
What are you doing? What?
No, I brush my. What?
What? You think that was funny and cute? Like, I don't get like what the end goes. Like, oh yeah, go for it. What?
First of all, that scene would have bothered me anyway, because I don't know, something about him brushing his teeth, it was just weird. Like, that whole scene was just weird to me. But I just felt like, can you close your mouth and just brush your teeth?
I get it, because he's trying.
Alright, so we got cut off.
Yeah. So we got cut off.
But you were saying how you felt about Jose's toothbrush.
Yeah. So like I get it. Like, as a guy, you trying to be cool, you trying to show off or whatnot, and the camera's in front of you, you want to seem like you funny whatnot. But like, that's what you're reaching for? Let me brush the what?
I think it was serious though. I think he really wanted to brush her teeth. He was like, sing happy birthday. How old? I've been brushing my teeth for a while. I think I got it.
But I will second his recommendation. Electric toothbrushes, they are way better than regular toothbrushes.
They are way better.
They
definitely are way better. But I do not pack them when I travel.
But going back, it do seem like they got the physical thing down. Like, it seems like they are really attracted to each other. They're kissing, they're affectionate. So I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, go.
So when she met his dad and stepmom and mom, his dad was not there for the conversation. He was there to eat.
This food right here, I'm gonna eat it.
He was there to eat.
I'll say a couple words in between bites.
Right. He's like, let me just finish this. Huh? Hold on. I was like, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. What were they saying? He seems like he's a little bit more anal in terms of spending and all of those things, because he kind of like is a person who's like the achiever. I have to accomplish these things. I have this checklist. I have to do these things. My life has to be like this, in this perfect box, and I don't want it if it's not in this perfect box. So, I don't know. I think that could come back and bite them a little in the butt. I think she could use more structure probably, but I don't want him to be too
right. That's just in life in general. That's a tough balance. I feel like we all want to be super productive, have our money on lock and all that stuff, but at the same time, you just want to have fun too, like, and just enjoy your life. Like, so it's like trying to find that balance of like having that, like you said, structure, but not letting the structure control you. But yeah, I mean, that's what they basically said. He's very organized and very uptight with his stuff like that. About the credit score and all that. So yeah, I mean, I think, but those aren't terrible things. I feel like she didn't seem frazzled or like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a deal breaker. She seemed fine.
No, she didn't seem frazzled, but I think that could be an issue. I don't know. He got a whole whiteboard where he breaks down his expenses.
I mean, that's great though.
It's great, but for him, it's great. It might not be great for her.
I mean, it might be though. I mean, I'm thinking about getting a whiteboard.
No, it's one thing. That's fine for him when he's by himself, but she might not want to be breaking down every penny she spent and telling them all that she spent for that day and writing it on the board.
True.
It's like, nope, put it on the board. Like, no, I don't want to do that. But what else? What else with them?
I mean, that's all his parents said, and her folks were telling him, "Hey, this is where the parent thing comes in." Her mom was like, her room is a mess.
She's
disorganized.
She's unorganized. She's a student, so she doesn't do dishes. Her car is a mess. I'm like, dang, mom, like, where to throw her under the bus? She probably would be a little different when she's married to another person and living with that person. Who knows? Like, I wonder what it was like. She said she had a living boyfriend during the height of COVID. Like, how was that? How was she doing that time? You don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I'm like, dang.
These parents, though, they don't be giving their kids no breaks. Like the last episode, Jose's stepmom was like, y'all should just have sex tonight. I mean, what we waiting for? Y'all married, ain't y'all? I'm like, goodness.
Just jump right into it. Parents are embarrassing. We love them though, but they can be embarrassing.
Yo.
Yeah,
and when they got to the place, I didn't remember anything. Like, there wasn't anything memorable for you. Anything?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, I feel like the season really starts next week. I feel like this was like the preseason, and this is the real season starting next week.
Right. So, we'll see. Next episode, hopefully we have a lot of stuff to, unpack and discuss and talk about. But yeah, this episode was boring.
Yeah.
I could do without it. I don't need it.
And what's crazy is if this show gets even bigger and more popular,
don't say that.
It's probably gonna be an episode in between this and the honeymoon. The ride to the airport.
Goodness gracious. But anyway, that's it for us. Let us know, what you guys think, what stood out to you during this episode. And if you're just waiting, like I'm just waiting for the honeymoon episode.
Right.
That's when I'll start actually watching. But thank you guys for watching this video. We hope that you guys like it. If you give it a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. See ya.